Hey everybody, welcome back to Lettermen Row. I'm Austin Ward, joined again by Zach Boren. Hey, it's another week where we've got to go twice, Zach. I hope you're ready for round two, breaking down these silver bullets.
I couldn't be more ready. I mean, I was so juiced up on Saturday before the game. I was so pissed off after the game. I was ready to do these BuckIQs as soon as I walked out of the stadium on Saturday at about 7 o'clock.
Yeah, well, we've dug into one, which was the bad. We had to flip the order this week. There was no way to sugarcoat that, but there were a couple stops late. All right, maybe some glimmers of hope for Ohio State that they could get that defense corrected. They got the 3 and outs that they needed to keep that game close, maybe give the offense a chance. Now, they obviously couldn't get it done. It was 35-28 the final score, but I don't know, did something change on those for you, or did that provide any optimism that could help when you were so disappointed with the rest for good reason?
No, I don't think it creating optimism. I think, to me, it just kind of pissed me off even more, and I think it pissed everyone else off more, is that, when you're up in the corner, right, and someone's throwing, haymakers at you, and you got to come out swinging. They did. So where was that the first 3.5 quarters of the game? The offense played well. I know people want to point the finger at CJ Stroud. He did everything in his power to win this football game for the Buckeyes. And then you're expecting the offense to have 2 drives. 1 or 2 drives, they had to be perfect and go down and score. And if you're the defense, that's just not acceptable. That's not okay. Where was that intensity? Where was that running after the football? Where was that attitude on every other drive before that? And that's what I don't understand. If you're able to do that late in the game, why weren't you able to do that earlier on?
I think that's one of the biggest mysteries about trying to, we pointed to those, the coaching, the scheme and the personnel, and talked about that earlier in the week. And that's what Ryan Day's looking at. But, I don't know, none of those things those are all separate from coming out and playing with intensity from the very start. And I thought you could also say the same thing about Ohio State's offensive line in the first half, and in some of those key short yardage situations. It just, some sort of energy was lacking for this team, and doesn't fit in either one of those other 3 boxes, I don't believe.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. You pointed at the Ohio State offensive line, and we're not breaking that down. We'll leave that down to one of the former guys. Yeah, Reed Fragel's one of those guys. But that was a whole nother thing too. Those guys got manhandled, and especially in those short yardage situations and in the first half, they did no favors either. But yeah, at some point, right? You're playing Oregon in a top 15 matchup, the first home game with fans in 650 something days. How you come out with no juice and no energy is just beyond me. It was, it's almost like they walked out saying, "Hey, we're Ohio State. Hey, we're the best. All we got to do is walk out on the field, and we got our NIL deals. We got this, we got that. We're just going to win the game." And that's not how it is. You got to go out every single week and play for that name on your chest and say, "Hey, this is who we are. You're going to know you played the Ohio State University." And I think that the attitude in the locker room, I hate to say entitlement, but the entitlement needs to change. And nothing is given to you at Ohio State. Everything's earned, and those guys need to start thinking that way.
All right, they didn't figure that out maybe until too late against Oregon. There were a couple plays that showed maybe Ohio State can do what they expect from the Silver Bullets. Zach's going to break that down for us right now, as he always does on Lettermen Row for BuckIQ. Let's roll the tape. All right, Zach, I already know that this isn't going to make you feel any better. You said that you're still worried about it. Made it worse on Saturday, but the defense did finally show up for a couple of drives late. What were they doing that made it more effective down the stretch, and can they take this into another week maybe?
This was the first time that they actually showed up to play. But if you look from the very beginning, you can actually see the linebackers are flowing in the right direction. I mean, they're not going opposite of where the ball's going, right? This is a simple quarterback lead play. You see some penetration by the defensive line. We could talk for a while about no penetration from the defensive line either all game. But finally you get some defensive penetration. You see the linebackers flowing the way they should be. Cody Simon playing downhill, Taraji Mitchell playing downhill. And you see someone come set the edge, play with their hands, and make a play for a 1 or 2 yard gain. This is what they should have been doing all game long. And you actually see guys running in the right direction of where the ball is going.
The other thing that jumps out to me just as we start, Zach, is look, you got Cam Brown on the field on the bottom, Lathan Ransom, Denzel Burke, Zach Harrison, Haskell Garrett, Teron Vincent, Cody Simon, Taraja Mitchell, Ronnie Hickman. Hey, now Josh Proctor's hurt. That's why Bryson Shaw's on the field. Like, Ohio State put their best players on the field for this drive. I wonder if that had anything to do with
it. These players should be on the field every single snap. That's the difference here, right? Is instead of playing some of these backup guys or even third string guys, Ohio State should be playing their dogs every single snap on defense, and they need to figure out who those guys are.
Yeah, and one of them on this drive was JT Tuimoloau, and well, if he's already ready for that, then you're going to have to turn him loose because this was an important play. If he doesn't get a hand in the passing lane, you see there that Oregon's got 5-6 yards to set up a short, maybe third down. I don't know what'll happen with Denzel Burke, but JT Tuimoloau is a guy who shows up and gives them a play they need.
Oh, agreed. The guys who showed up to play on these last two drives are the guys that they should be playing. And like you said, JT comes here. Obviously, a play needs to be made. He sees it. Being a true freshman coming out on the field in this situation, getting his hands up, realizing what's going on. Like, okay, I'm not going to get to the quarterback. I'm going to play off this. You see his eyes, playing well with his eyes, gets up, gets a good big pass deflection in a massive situation right here. This guy should be seeing the field some more. Maybe if this guy would have been on the field some more, maybe they wouldn't have had so many issues, or the Ohio State defense wouldn't have had so many issues with the defensive ends just kind of sitting flat-footed while the running back's gashing us up the middle.
All right, then you get a third down situation. They're trying to get the football back for the offense. Under 5 minutes to go, stay in the game. Look, I mean, you give Zach Harrison a little bit of credit. He's getting around the edge. He's forcing a throw to come out. And still have JT Tuimoloau over there. So there was some of that energy. It was just a little too late.
Yeah, there was some energy. And you see here Cody Simon, why he's not on the field every single snap is beyond me as well. You saw him make some big plays against Minnesota. You see him make some big plays again against Oregon. He should be your full-time, one of your full-time linebackers, hands down. You see him right here playing man coverage on the outside. Big play right here. That's against their tight end. Great pass coverage. Man, you can't ask for anything better than that. That is a phenomenal play here by Cody Simon in a huge third down.
So I guess that'll just be our number one takeaway, Zach. The starters probably need to win the game for Ohio State.
100%. The only time any of these other guys should be seeing the field is, guess what, when Ohio State's up at least 21 points. Other than that, you should have the dogs out on the field every single snap on defense.
All right, those guys delivered a key 3-and-out late. It wasn't enough for Ohio State to make up for some of the deficiencies earlier. We talked about that yesterday on Lettermen Row for BuckIQ. Always appreciate Zach Boren's insight. Win or lose, he's the best in the business. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, my man. Hopefully we're going over a win next week in Tulsa.
Boy, if we don't have one to talk about, there's going to be a lot more issues going on in Columbus. Let's hope we don't have to deal with that. For Zach Boren, I'm Austin Ward. This has been Lettermen Row BuckIQ. We'll see you next time.